Okay. All right, so let's look at that motion, but with partner. Okay, so Noah here, one of those UND thugs, right? We're breaking social distancing. He's going to hold his breath the entire time that we're doing this so that we minimize that. So anyway, he ends up on top of me. Now, obviously, this is not a good position, okay? There's a couple of things that are worse than this. So if he starts hitting me, especially starts smacking to one side, most people's instinct is trying to get away from that hit, right? So if I don't want to get hit, a lot of people intuitively want to do this, and obviously this is even worse. Is we never, ever, 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 ever turn our back, right? Even if we're taking damage or whatever else. I can't do that, okay? The one position, not as bad as back mount, but still bad, is if my elbows come up, he's going to bring his knees up into my armpits, and now this is what we call high mount. And now it's a lot more difficult for me to block with my arms, and that lift that I did with my legs to generate power with my legs and hips to throw him off of me doesn't work so well because he's no longer down there. He's on my chest. If that were to happen, I have to find a way to squirm and get down. So my elbows are going to stay next to my ribs to keep him from walking his knees up into my armpits. I can still block and cover or whatever as he's doing that, okay? Now, he can be doing a lot of things, but we're going to start with what we call sweet nothings. I call it sweet nothings because he's down whispering in my ear, okay? So for whatever reason, he's close to me this way. Okay, so I'm going to control his head, and I'm going to control one arm. Okay? And you're like, why do I want to keep this guy close to me? Is because in close he can't have any room to hit me. Go ahead, try and hit me hard. Okay? He can try and smack me with that side a little bit. Okay, but there's not. If I let him sit back and rear up, that would be a completely different story. Okay, so if for whatever reason he ends up close to me, I control him long enough to do this upa that we just did. That's the name of the movie we're doing. It's called upa. Okay. Feet together, knees together, heels by our butt. The side that I have his arm clamped, okay, is the side I'm going to go to. So I'm going to go up to 12 first, and as we talked about early in the first video, you are not going to make this dramatic pause in reality, but first I go up, and then I'm going to turn to the side that I have his arm trapped to. Now, I'm going to come up, I'm going to control his biceps because I don't want him punching me in the face. If you were in class, I would tell your partners, if they don't, smack you in the face. There you go. So that will learn, right, to do that. Some of you working with your brothers and sisters, they might relish the opportunity to do that if you mess up, okay? So I've got his biceps, I've got his arms, okay? Notice it's not with my thumbs. I want more than that between his arm and my face, okay? But if I'm controlling his arms and he's intent on holding on to me, he's going to use his legs. So he's going to do what we call guard, and he's going to wrap me in his guard, so so I'm not done yet. I got to get up from here. We'll talk about that in just a second, but I got to get to there, okay? So one more time. Okay? Whisper sweet nothings. I trap. I have to go to the side the arm's on. If I try to go this way, he's got an arm to stop himself. He's not going to go anywhere. But if I take this arm away, okay, and when you're working with your partner, notice Noah's not going to put his hand and plant it on the ground out here, so I roll him over that wrist. So he balls up a fist or he hugs my back or something like that. So as we go up and over, okay, but basically I get him going here, and then gravity takes over to here. Okay. Now, to get up, like I said, and normally we would do this the second day. I'm going to give it to you all in one time because guess what? You're kind of doing this all in one time anyway. But basically, right, so again, we're not done. We have to get up from here. But to do that part, okay, basically, now, I can punch him in the face. There's eyes, there's ears, right? I can smack him in the ear. There's lots of things like that. There's his groin, okay? Right? And I can get a shot, but I don't know about you, okay? But I know and I'm going to guess he probably has similar ideas,
that if I start trying to hit him in the junk right now, you're probably going to want to punch me in the face, right? So I don't really want to play that game, right? So if I want, is it just a quick shot, and then start to stand up? If I can open the guard, maybe, okay? If that's not working, we're going to give you one other idea, okay? And especially recognize this, guys, and I know mostly it's girls in the class, but guys, you get to here, you start hitting the guy here and here. This is when the bouncer comes around the corner and the cop comes around the corner, and like, he started it, he was on me, I swear, right? Doesn't look good, okay? So we want to, I'm going to give you another option that also leaves, how should we say, a little less evidence, okay? So I'm going to control his biceps, like I said. One hand is going to come to his neck, okay? Not on his jaw, on his neck. Now you're going to simulate this next part. I'm going to put my weight on this hand over here. In reality, I'm going to, now notice also, I let go of that bicep, so where should my head be? Down here, right? So he can't get that clean shot in, okay? But I'm going to lean forward. This is a graphic metaphor, but it works. His head is a zit, and I'm just going to go and just pop it, like across the mat. Scoot all the way over there. Gross, but shut up, you'll do it right, okay? Right? So I'm here, I lean forward. You will simulate and put your weight over here. That in and of itself might be enough. That pressure is uncomfortable. He might let go. Probably not, but maybe. Right? But what that's really doing is allowing me the opportunity to lean forward. So again, I'm simulating the weight over here, but that makes this leg light, so this leg can come up and boom, right up the tailpipe. We're going to assume that gets a reaction. To get up, my wrists are going to come together. I'm going to shove down and in. It's like I'm trying to shove all of his internal organs up underneath his rib cage. So that makes it very difficult for him to sit up into me. Okay? Notice my arms are not this way. Now he grabs me and pulls me back down. My arms fold this way. This way, not so much. Okay? I'm going to stand up on him. The knee that is in his groin is going to move 6 inches up. Does he want to pull me down now? No, he does not. Now I'm backing away. Okay? So at any point in this progression that things break, okay? If he doesn't wrap me to begin with, if he doesn't know any better, I'm just going to, right here, be getting up, okay? If I smash him in the face, I smash him in the groin, that gives me the reaction. Right away, I'm getting to here. But I want to see this bargaining position. You have to come up in a good, solid base, like your stand-up and base, your technical stand-up position, okay? And this knee is a bargaining position to keep him from coming back into you, and also he doesn't want to pull me back down into him, okay? And gives me a kick if I need it when I come out, okay? If it takes this bone to do it, okay, the whole time, okay? So, if he scoots away for just a second, I'll bring him back in just a minute. If this line is their spine, I'm on all fours, on the line, okay? Right here's the spine right between us. I smash their face, my head is down. I lean forward so my knee can go in the air, and this knee goes, whoom, as high as you can. You will take it to their chin if you could, okay? This is actually a lot harder to do on the mat, on the ground, instead of having a person there with you. But you're going to stand up on them, bring your knee up and away. You might see how that works? Okay, one more time. We're here to do that last part. I come up, I've got all fours, smash, hit the groin if you can or need to, control, lean, knee pop, pop up, stand up and away. Okay, so the whole thing, one more time. He whispers sweet nothings. Control the arm, control the head, up to 12, then we turn, control the biceps. Smash the neck, lean forward, pop, stand up, and away. Now they don't always whisper in our ear. So if he's punching, option B, or scenario B, I should say, okay? He's punching. I'm going to cover, but this prolongs the inevitable. This is not going to last forever. So we're going to do what we call the swim. It's like I'm doing a breaststroke. I'm going to swim up, and as he punches, this is going to slide down into my armpit, and I'm going to clamp my overhook over. Now that's hard to do on my back down here, okay? It's hard to get very much of his arm. So I gotta crunch up, I gotta go up and get him and bring him back down to me. And if I don't get his arm, I'm gonna grab shoulder, hair, ear, something and bring him down with me to here. Now, safety if you're working with a partner. Same thing, watch their hands, don't get them caught. So hug your partner's shoulders. Okay, so they're just out of the way. Obviously, bad guy who cares, I don't care if he sprains his wrist, but in here, right, with you're working with your partner, if you're working with your mom, she probably doesn't want that to happen, okay? So hug the shoulders. Okay, now, if I end up with both arms, I can go to the side his head is on, okay, because I've got this arm trapped. And since his body's leaning that way, and I'm trying not to yell in his ear, right, so I'm kind of going this way, right, but I can easily take him that way. But as soon as I tell you that, then you go back and you screw the sweet nothings up. Because you're like, oh, his head's over here. No, because I don't have this arm. He can stop himself. Arm trumps head. If I only get one arm from the swim, I have to go that side. If I get both, I can choose. Maybe, right, maybe there's more space or whatever, or who knows, right? But I've got to have the arm I go to. But he punches, I cover. Go up, I get him, I bring him back down. We go up and over. Now, it takes a little different way to swim to control the biceps, but I will get to the same position. I will get to the same position, and the minute that guard opens, I'm opening up. Third scenario. The exact same thing happens, but he's choking me, okay? Right? I say you did this, but you didn't. You were supposed to do this, okay? When we were standing, right? So we didn't get a chance to do this one standing, but that's all right, okay? So basically what I'm going to do is I am going to raise one hand, and that is going to point the direction I'm going to go. I am going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to clamp over to trap his hands. I'm going to lift to 12 and then turn. Now notice we might fall a little more apart this time. So one more time. Here's how you're gonna screw it up. Because my arm is going this way, you're gonna think more just side roll, and you're gonna do that. You're not gonna get the lift to 12. Now, that means for a second, go ahead, put your hands on me. That means for a second, lift his butt. But he's already choking you, right? But you have to lift him. You have got, you are trying to get, if there's a wall, one of your people are like, what if we're on my bed and there's a wall? Put his freaking head through the wall. I mean, how hard is that, right? So, again, that's not a hard concept, I should say, okay? So, basically, again, you're going to lift up to 12. You are going to get a huge lift. Because he is sitting up higher, there is more of an opportunity for us to kind of, boom, create some distance there, okay? Now, if this should happen, then I'm not going to turn around and come back up into his guard so we can get up the way we talked about, okay? You very well might end up in their guard like the other two versions when this happens. But should you fall apart, and if it were to happen, it is more likely to happen in this particular scenario, your mantra is hit and scoot. In other words, what I don't want to see is this. Okay? Everybody should agree that's pretty stupid. Okay? So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to try to get to that ground fighting position. I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to start to move away a little bit. Now what do I got? Oh, boom, there's a kick. Now I'm going to move a little bit. Boom, there's another kick. And now I'm in my ground fighting position. I am going to scramble and stand up and base. As I start to move, I am going to use my legs and hips as a barrier to get between us and them and keep kicking. Now, so if we end up a little closer, we could be in here looking into, right? So, wham, there's an elbow. There's a smack to the ear. Maybe that's a knee to the groin, right, as I start to move. Okay, then there's the kick. Okay? And there's the up kick or whatever. Now, could he grab this leg when I try to kick him? Absolutely. What am I going to do? Kick him with that leg. Okay? What if he grabs both legs? science, it does look a little different when we're on the ground. Okay, concept of the free part. I mean, again, this isn't really anything different than we did standing up. It's just how do we adapt it to the ground? Okay, because again, it looks different, but we should be able to figure out something to do. And once again, your job is to get your feet between us so I can stand up and base the normal way. Okay? So those are your 3 options from mount. Okay? Good luck with that, and stay safe.